When it comes to, like you were saying, keywords and things like that to really get into the flow, I've really started focusing on not really what'll trigger the buyer first. I want to tickle the algorithm first
Mm-hmm.
and then appeal to the buyer. If the algorithm doesn't like your listing, the buyer doesn't even get a chance to see it. There are so many sellers that are being added to the mix and so many listings, and there's only so much time that someone's going to be online. The way Facebook, everything is getting more and more dynamic, that SEO is making more and more of a difference. I shared with Lisa, I did 10 listings and looked at them from an SEO standpoint, the way the algorithm would see them, not the way a buyer would see them. All 10 of those items sold. No, I didn't, no adjectives in the title at all, no emojis. Even in my description, no emojis. The title, less than 65 characters or less, keep it to the point. And some of these are actual Facebook suggestions. I'm narrowing it down, and I have a little bullet point list that I put in that has the measurements, the weight, who made it, what the price, yada, yada, that I put into my description. And after that, I actually just use a copy and paste that just basically says,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for looking. If you have any questions, here's my phone number. Call me. I've just kept it so simple. My listings have my phone number on them. I don't care. Um, Somebody steals my identity, I'll get an apology card in the mail with maybe $20 in it. But anyhow, that automated stuff from Facebook, I just really stopped paying any attention to it, and I've just gone by way of, instead of looking for keywords or whatever, I'm really trying to describe that item in the least amount of words that I can and still hit all the high points. And then when I look at my picture, I just make sure that it's obvious, even to a bot, that it can recognize what that is.
And
And
when you
so,
say that, you mean like it doesn't say that it's a medical device, or it doesn't come back and it says, all those other strange things where, or it gives you different suggestions of categories that it should be in where it shouldn't be in, right?
exactly, because you can't outsmart it even when it's being stupid.
Hmm.
Okay, if it feels that that picture is a picture of X, you can tell it that it's Y all day long, and as soon as you turn your back, it's going to list it with X because it automatically
Exactly.
thinks that it knows more than you.
Right.
So if you're listing something and those little suggestions it's putting down there are just completely off base, there's something about your listing that's telling the AI that that's what it is. It could be something like taking a picture of a bowl, for instance, that's at the wrong angle and it looks like a plate. You want to catch the reason why it actually recommends the white background and everything is because it gives it that silhouette. I mean, kind of think about it like those little psychiatry things where, look at this shape, tell me what it looks like to you.
The ink
Just
blot.
kind of, yes. So just kind of think of it like that. And then you also have to think of the speed that these things are happening. I mean, you've got millions and millions and millions of listings and they're just flying by. You have to make it to where that thing doesn't have to think about it, because if it has to think about it, it puts it off over in this what the heck is that category,
Mhm.
and you have a listing that doesn't get views, it doesn't get anything, because the system is moving at such a fast pace. If you don't catch the stream, you're done. I mean, you'll never get back into it, unless you make it where your listing flows. You want it in the right category, that's true, but the search engine is where it's really at, because, like Lisa, you were talking about the today's picks and everything. Well, promoted items, boosted items, things like that, obviously are going to take the center point there. Um, Next level down is going to be the listings that are SEO done well. And if you don't think that that's important, you just need to look at every company out there has very high paid people that do that. Walmart has them, every company has them, and all they do is look at that product and they build a listing for the SEO. That's what it comes down to, because it's not like the old days on eBay to where we used to put stuff like, you know, we had actually 3 words of what the product was, and then we're sitting there asking our significant other or our kids, hey, what's another word for, and we've got, 100 different random words stacked up in the title. Now you have to be more specific because these bots now can think. Just tell it exactly what it is and don't ramble. Make things for the SEO first, the buyer second, and yourself last. We're not making trophies to ourselves. It's not a competition for a short story in the description. Just SEO first, buyer second, your personal last.
Well,
That's all.
Sean,
That's my thoughts on it.
I love that so much. Let me ask you one more question on that. So, do you think 10 photos, for example, on Marketplace, I don't know how many you can do in a shop, but do you think too many photos? Because aren't the bots having to like look through each photo as well? I mean, all information in has to be assessed by, assessed, right? So, do you think fewer photos is better?
The main photo is what gets really scrutinized.
Okay.
The other photos just kind of get scanned because just it's the same thing that's in it. They also look for, I don't know if you guys know about the 20% rule of, if you put a photograph on Facebook and you add text to it, make sure that that text doesn't exceed 20% of the overall photograph. It will flag it. If it doesn't restrict it, it'll bury the listing. Facebook doesn't like that because people can sneak in links or information that's not allowed. To answer your question, it's kind of weird because on Facebook itself, I could screenshot you one article that says use one picture, and then I can go to a completely different article, both articles put out by Facebook, that says to use all 10. It's
Perfect.
it's totally
Thank
up
you,
to you.
Sean. Thank you.